And welcome back to the KDL. We are getting ready to continue with our team match portion of this event with Aura versus Planet. Should be a close match, should be a thrilling match here.
Absolutely, you know, Aura is a team that have basically been really known for recruiting one of the best amateur player, if not the best Navi. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing what Aura will bring to the table today. And Planet is also known for some really cool members.
Yeah, as we see the team Aura coming out onto the stage right now, the players being introduced here to our lovely studio audience.
Right. I mean, Aura looking really good here coming in today. There's going to be definitely a lot of expectations on the players. Navi, Nog, Hero, Seas, and Tech. Yeah,
and you can see Hero right there. The runner on this team will be the one trying to lead the charge there towards the end. And talking a little bit here about Take, he's the player that I am most looking forward to watching here because he's an old person like me. Born in 1992. We're actually 2 days apart, our birthdays. So I was very happy to see us 30-somethings can game too.
And he is a player with a high understanding of item battle, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as we see Planet coming in looking very good. I love the smiles on their faces, just really excited for the match we can see.
Yeah, always good to see players looking comfortable, looking confident there on stage as, you know, competing online or training online, playing ladder, that kind of thing is something different entirely when you come to a live stage. The audience just meters away from you, you know, the crowd is just surrounding you. There's a lot of energy in the building, and oftentimes players can crumble under that pressure, but Aura and Planet both seeming pretty comfortable on stage. Lots of smiles here as they step into their booths, getting ready to game.
I love that point you made. Definitely there's a big difference in the performances between offline and online, and
wow. About as standard as it gets here for Team Aura. Nothing but 6-0-6-2 on the builds.
You can say that again. Standard as ever.
We got some flyers here.
Yeah, there's fourth, Che Seung-hyun, third. I think they are just saying who is the oldest. We have Tech, who is the oldest.
Yeah.
So he's like the big brother of the team.
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh. Isn't this another team spot? Says Aura to Planet.
I just love the banter that come out of these teams, man, so much. There's so much personality here on these kart rider teams. I love these little snapshots. You know, a lot of team leagues, even when they happen live, you don't really get to see this kind of personality side of the players. But here at the Kart Rider Drift League, we are all about it, man.
Absolutely. Aura, we get to see, or sorry, I mean to say Planet, we get to see.
I love that shirt there too, little spaceman on him, right there with the lens.
It's a really cool logo. I love it. As we see another 6-0-6-2 for the speed side, but for the item side, we are seeing only Minsik coming in with the 5-1-5-3.
Yeah, 5-1-5-3, so shaking things up a little bit there. Acceleration, of course, a lot more useful there in item mode when you're getting slowed down so often there.
Yeah.
As they say, Mystic reunited here in KDL. What kind of surprises will these familiar faces bring? As Mystic, one of the most storied teams in kart rider history, a lot of players reuniting here to compete in kart rider drift.
For sure, they absolutely dominated that year 2020, and now we see a little message from Planet saying we will take our team's first victory here. This one is very wholesome.
Yeah, not really throwing shade at the other team, but instead just kind of quietly building up themselves. I like it, I like it. Nice and humble there. As Peter, we have the speed track list.
We have bans coming in onto the Village, Bayside, Bridge Run, as well as Boostwood. There's a lot of bans being placed on Boostwood. Players are not really comfortable with that. There's Mine Winding Slopes, Boom Hill Tunnel as the final ban.
Yep, and we will be starting on World Tour New York Rally for track number 1, followed by Rickety Rails, Terracotta Twister, Zigzag Timberland, and Gold Rush. I feel like almost every single series we are seeing Terracotta, Zigzag, and Gold Rush. Man, these players love it. I love them too. Honestly, the map design, the track design, pretty much across the board here in Kart Rider Drift is just so much fun.
For sure, and we can't forget Zigzag Timberland. This is a name that we keep seeing played. You know, not a lot of bans being put on the map, so that is interesting to me because when we're seeing a map a lot, that usually means a lot of players are comfortable on it. And so far, you know, this map has been unlocked, just free to go.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes if you have a map that might have some unique features that perhaps one player feels very comfortable with, especially if it's like a runner who's gunning for first place, you're going to want to snipe that away from the opposing team and not give them a chance to let their top players shine. So a lot of strategies coming in as more cheerfuls here in the audience.
Right, we saw some cheerful for Nock. There is for Hero, Planet. You know, fans are definitely here today supporting their favorite teams. And I really hope that these teams are able to show a great performance to the fans because this is their first showing.
Absolutely. First, a lot of firsts here at the KDL opening weekend as we're going to map number 1 here in this best of 5 World Tour New York Rally.
Here we go. We are opening the first race between Planet and Aura. We get to see a little bit into the standings. Nock standing at rank 1. However, there's a lot of members from Planet following closely behind.
That's a very tight race here at the front as these players need to kind of skirt around this little roundabout here. Taking these turns nicely as we're drifting into the next section of the map. Keep in mind, New York Rally is a one-lapper. It's a long lap, but this placement here at the top of the track order is going to matter a lot.
For sure. I mean, that's definitely a really interesting that you pointed out there. As we see Planet, they are feeling really good right now, 7 points ahead. We need the members from Aura, C's and Navi to step it up, especially Navi, a player that was referred to as the best amateur player.
Yeah, but with Nock and Hero so close to contesting the top spots here, Aura's got to be feeling quite confident about that. If they're able to secure number 1, number 2, but Hero with a little bit of a collision there, loses some momentum. Navi now, the weight's going to be on him to try to secure that 2 spot with Nock.
Aura coming back strong. They are now 3 points ahead. You know, this is going to be really important right now. We see Hero and C staying behind, making sure to lock down Scarlet, Minsig, and Acid Fly.
Yeah, and overall for Aura, the teams are looking good, but they really need to secure that first place spot to bring the win home. It feels like at this point, whichever team has their player cross the finish line first will be the team to walk away with a victor as we have 500 meters left to go.
This is going to be a close one.
It's
Planet
so close.
Is leading now by 5 points.
Yeah.
Aura, they were not able to find the comeback angle. Man, that was really close up till the end, but Planet was the one who's going to come out ahead of this one.
Yeah, clutch there by Mari coming through there with a finish, but overall, Planet was just playing so solid that even if Mari was going to drop into that number 2 spot, I think they would have walked away with the win there as they just dominated the midfield. Besides Aura's top players, pretty much everyone there was near the bottom of the track. You see right there on your screen, Hero in season 7 and 8. And if you're going to if you're going to top that first place player, you want to have at least positions, 2, 3, potentially 4. As Planet is going to take map number 1.
1, 4, 5, 6 was the position for Planet, looking really good already on their first map today. So I am sure the fans of Planet are going to be excited to see how they perform in the next one. Whereas, of course, Aura, this is a team that definitely has a lot of expectations on them. So we are not too concerned. They only dropped 1 match. I'm sure we're going to see some crazy things coming out of Aziz, who is a sweeper for the team. He's been fantastic with those blocks.
Yeah, these teams coming into this one, a lot of people saying that they are quite evenly matched, so we'll see who's able to come away with a win in this series. Of course, we're only done with 1 track, a lot of maps left to be played here.
And we see the fans for Navi and Aura, just a lot of support coming in. We appreciate that. Thank you, fans.
Yeah, it's lovely having a live audience, this packed, this impassioned, this excited for the games as we're going to go to Rickety Rails for track number 2. All right, and the racers are off here on this 3-lapper. Hero and C is getting the biggest piece of the pie right now, holding first and second place, as they're going to try and block and do their best to hold on to it. But, man, this story just keeps happening with these extremely tight starts. It feels like anybody can make a move.
Aura feeling pretty good right now because C's is the player as well as Hero. Hero's the one that likes to stay firmly in the top ranking. So Aura's game plan is definitely going exactly where they wanted to as they are sitting about 9 points ahead of Planet.
Yeah, and you see C's right there trying his best to block Scarlet, not allowing Scarlet to gain any ground there on Hero. Scarlet actually with a little bit of an unfortunate bounce there, but Acid able to boost. Scarlet back up to speed.
Playing really close right now. However, Planet, you know, Mintic is sitting there at 8. Scarlet, Mari, Acid Fly at 4, 5, 6. They definitely got to step things up, and they do have the time right now. This is only the second lap, so someone needs to find a way to block this defense combo of Hero, Seas, and Nog just sitting so comfortably in the top 3.
Yeah, Nock just playing a little bit of defense right now. Of course, if Aura is able to secure that first and second place spot, they will be walking away with a win here on this map. So right now, all eyes on Navi and Nock to provide defense, and Planet just feels like they're falling further and further behind. Acid Fly trying to make a play right here, but Nock once again with a nice blocking, and Acid Fly is going to drop it into the water.
Acid Fly was the player that Planet was looking for, but
yeah,
Planet...
that's it. You can tell Planet...
No.
They've just lost all momentum here as Aura's going to walk away with this one. Things not going Planet's way, and that's going to be a clean sweep, about as good as it gets, 29-10.
There's very happy high fives going around. I mean, after such a dominating finish to that race, you have to be happy with yourself. You know, a lot of times when you play games, it's not very common that you say to yourself, oh, I've done perfect this time. But I'm pretty sure that that's what Aura can feel about themselves right now in this match.
Yeah, that's just one of those fantastic moments where, you know, everything went according to plan. Hero and Seas, they were able to pull away from everybody. Hero even setting a new record here on this map, as Nock and Navi playing fantastic defense there in the midfield, not giving Planet any breathing room, and that's going to tie it up 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, Navi's definitely a player that likes to let the team's front runners go and support the team's rear runners, and he's done that so well for Aura. So now the question is, you know, Planet, after this, can you come back? You know, is the mental okay?
I think it's all right. I mean, some things don't go your way, and that's just, you know, that happens sometimes, right? It's still 1-1. Instead of a best of 5, it's now best of 3. So we get a replay of Nock just with spectacular defense there. Acid Fly falling down into the water, and Planet just losing all hope of competing on that map. And, you know, these fans here, they're excited for Team Aura.
Definitely Aura to see. Aura, they came all the way to Jamsil from Busan, which is so far.
Korea's a small country. Busan's about as far as it gets, man.
Yeah, it's like all the way across the country down to the ocean.
All right, Terracotta Twister will be the next map, tied 1-1.
We're getting right into the match within the map of Terracotta Twister. You know, this is a map known for its tricky turns, so I hope our players will be able to stay composed as they confront some of those turns.
Yeah, a couple of places where he can fall off here, as we saw earlier today and yesterday as well, but Aura just kind of riding the momentum from the previous map, and they're in fantastic position here with Hero, Seas, and Nock. You know, the 1-2-3 punch right there. Nock's going to try and play some defense there. Look to see him try and swipe Mari a little bit.
And he is definitely doing his job so far, because
Navi.
More members of Aura's coming in.
Yeah, Navi's also here as Aura's holding all the top 4 spots. And look at this excellent blocking here. Fantastic defense from the team. I mean, everyone's playing kind of conservative lines there as they navigate the most difficult part of this map. But Aura, they're just so happy with this season Hero. It's only lap number 1, and they already have some fantastic leads here. And look at Nock again, just consistently getting in front of Mari and not giving him any space.
It's just the same thing happening right now. 1, 2, 3, 4 being locked in by Aura, and this is the final lap.
Goodness.
Navi does fall behind, but still Aura is 9 points ahead of Planet. We see the Mintic, Acid Fly, Scarlet Mari, they are coming in right now. They're trying to be cohesive with this movement. They just need to get a little bit further.
Yeah, Navi falls behind, but that was an intentional play there. He sacrificed himself for the better of his team because he knows if he can create space between the 3-pack of Aura and the rest of Team Planet, it doesn't matter where he finishes. They're going to walk away with a win as we have our players trying to skirt these. Planet doing a good job of taking some greedy lines and not falling down the dip, but they're going to have to make some fantastic plays to close this one out.
There's 500 meters left on the clock. This is looking not very good for Planet, as Aura, they do still have their players in that top 3, and they are able to lock in another astonishing victory.
Yeah, these last 2 tracks have just been a masterclass here from Aura. In control of the game from start to finish, and Hero and Siege in the 1-2 spot. You get those players in the top 2 positions in speed mode, you're walking away with the track almost no matter what. And regardless of that, I mean, you got to think that, you know, okay, Na'Vi and Nock, they're going to be sacrificing themselves to just give as much space to their runners as possible. Nock still finishes top 3.
Yeah, I mean, the confidence to even go all the way down to 8th from Na'Vi, showing that he really trusted his team there to maintain the top 3. And when they did, you know, it was an absolute pleasure to see how dominant Aura was able to be.
Yeah, or with fantastic lines, fantastic teamwork, as they're in a commanding position now, winning the last 2 tracks in this best of 5. Let's get a little bit of a replay here. Some action coming in. You see Acid. Oh, man. The action happened so fast, I didn't even catch that in all of its glory, but fantastic blocking there from Aura, just causing constant problems for Team Planet.
Yeah, I mean, Aura looking really on form right now, as we see from the fan. What is 3 times 5? I want to see Aura win. Wait, what?
I'm not good enough at math to parse that one, man. I played Protoss and StarCraft. I don't know what 3 times 5 is.
I feel you there, man. Math can be definitely a head-scratcher.
All right, Zigzag Timberland will be the next map. Will Aura be able to complete the 3-1 finish? All right, and the racers are off again. Will Aura be once again able to secure the top spots here out of the gates as Nock in the lead? Scarlet and Acid Fly right behind them with a little bit of blocking coming in. So a bit more of a competitive field here out of the gates.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not the ideal situation for Aura, because Hero is a player that likes to stay in the front for the team, and he's sitting at rank 5 right now. So Nock trying to fill his role, doing whatever he can to keep Acid Fly back, but we do see Scarlet coming in, 4 players, 2 from each team, trying to contest for the top positions.
And look at Hero just speedily coming in here and closing these gaps. These guys are running 6.062, but it looks like 7.070 with how fast Hero is just gaining ground on everybody. Taking some great lines, and now Aura pretty comfortable with 3 of the top 4 spots here.
Hero definitely a player that is really good at speeding up in the front line, but we do have Acid Fly still trying to buy some time for his team. You know, Scarlet, Min, Sigmari, they're sitting at 5, 6, 7, and this is not looking good because Planet is still down in points, about 5 points, but if they just pull through a little bit more, that might give them the edge they need.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure here on Acid Fly for Team Planet to secure that #1 spot unless his teammates are able to come through better in the midfield. But as we've seen time and time again, the defense from Aura, once they get these leads, is just so ironclad. You see Hero coming in, and he's going to try his best not to let anybody pass.
I mean, this is the second lap, so if we continue to see these fantastic defense coming from Aura, then Planet is going to be in trouble because they are currently 15 points behind. They need to catch up on that 6, 7, 8 position in Acid Fly, Minsik, and Mari.
And look at the distance between Scarlet, Hero, and C's right now. Those top 2 racers here for Team Aura just in complete control as we're getting through halfway point here on the final lap. Nock just doing more excellent defense. And man, Peter, I think Aura's gonna be walking away with a 3-1 unless Planet comes out with some fantastic tricks.
I mean, tricks, but how far can they take you?
Okay, we'll take that. Okay, Scarlet closing some gaps there as
Acid Fly too.
Yeah, Aura with a little bit of a greedy turn there, and it becomes a tighter race here with 500 meters left to go.
This is going to be a really close one. C's leading the pack, not falling right behind, but Acid Fly, is it going to be enough?
Even with that minor error there from Team Aura, they had such a comfortable lead, you know, it just kind of pads it. They still finished with the top 2 racers and also 4th position, so Aura just on another level right now. A very dominating 3-1 win. I mean, these last 3 tracks were just so clean and such great team play that, I mean, they look like a force to be reckoned with. They played above the level that I expected coming into this one.
For sure. I mean, it was a 3-1, so you might expect it to have been a little bit close, but not at all, because the way it went in those 3 matches, it was just all one-sided, favoring Aura. Planet definitely struggled today coming up against their fierce opponents.
Yeah, but we're going to switch sides, come into item mode here, and maybe Planet will be able to bring out some magic tricks, come through with some wins, and force an ace match.
Yeah, I mean, we can't forget that Planet was, after all, a team that has many members from the Mystic team, which was so highly regarded by many players.
Yeah, absolutely. They also have that item specialist Lens, who they're going to need to come through in the clutch there, but I mean, just the racing here from Aura in the last 3 tracks cannot be understated. They just played every map so well. They took the best lines, and every time they had somebody running away with it, they had defenders right behind them. The sweepers would just come in, they would block, they would do everything in their power to prevent the opposing team from gaining any momentum, and that just worked flawlessly.
And as we see a racer change for Aura, Tech is going to be coming in as a player with a really high understanding of item battle. So I'm excited to see if Aura can continue their dominance even into the item mode.
Yeah, Take definitely the veteran on that team, born in 1992, as we have another change here. Lens coming in as the item specialist for Team Planet. Mari swapping out. Almost called him Mario. So many esports, so many pro gamers, man. It's getting jumbled up here with the names. But, you know, interesting story about Lens. So I heard that at some point he was competing in a kart rider tournament wearing contact lenses. In mid-race, the lens fell out. They had to pause the game. He had to put the lens back in. His team wasn't in the best position, and they were still able to come back from that position. So now his moniker here in English is Lens.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic story to go along with this name. Absolutely a crazy one. But we do see some of the track lists coming out. You know, the Fans, Icebreaker Pass, London Night. These are names that we haven't seen too much. And on the other side, we also have fans from Planet, Mushroom Caves. This was a map that we got to see a bit earlier, and Motherlode.
Yes, the maps will be Brody's Gloom, Cogwheel Crush, Pharaoh's Pass, Polar Half-Pipe, and Istanbul Sunset Plaza. If we go to a map number 5, Planet needing to win 3 of these tracks to force an ace match and keep their tournament hopes, you know, not necessarily alive, but you want to build some momentum here in the opening weekend.
For sure, and I also really want to see an ace match because we haven't gotten to see one so far in the Kart Rider Drift League. And this fan is saying Untek is item and Untek is tech. So just identifying tech as a defining player for that item mode.
Oh, look at this cheerful. Look at the armor movement. Look at that bunny.
Yeah, I mean,
how did you do that?
Just crazy mechanics into Cheerful, I guess.
Cheerful mechanics. We are entering a new meta at esports, man. The cheerful meta. That is spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic Cheerful as we see a fan of Aura definitely being happy today. I'm sure that after that dominating performance, a lot of fans are excited to see what more can Aura bring to the table.
Yeah, especially with Tech coming in here as the item specialist here for Aura. Going to be looking to secure the win and avoid that ace matches. We're going to go to track number 1 here in item mode, Brody's Gloom.
Here we go, entering into the first item mode round between Aura and Planet. Now, we do see, of course, this is the first lap out of 2, so things are going to speed up really fast. Players are going to need to gather those items.
Yep, players getting hit by the little Roomba coming around there in the circle. And man, remember how we were talking about how deep the strategy is here, how you really want to set up the field to get just one racer to cross that finish line at the final moment, because that's what matters in item mode, right?
Right.
Oh. I mean, that happens, and then you see players getting hit by like water balloons or, you know, colliding with obstacles across the map, and normally you'd be thinking, oh, they messed up, but I mean, these games are just so nuanced in terms of complexity that you got to think that there's a deeper strategy here being played by these players.
For sure. I mean, the endless possibilities of strategies is definitely a thing that these teams are definitely been studying and building upon. As we see the first lap, it is coming to an end here. So moving into second lap, Aura has a pretty sizable lead. Planet definitely need to do some catching up.
Now, a little bit concerning here for Planet with Aura having so many positions towards the top, but okay.
Looking good now.
Say that and it instantly flips, but
Minsick.
You know, what really matters is those final moments, whether the teams are going to be able to come through with attacks, with angel shields, whether lead racers are going to be able to get nitrous to propel them across that finish line. That's what we're looking for, but look at Planet. Yeah, exactly. They have a lot of nitrous in the tank.
For sure, as we see Minsick, ever since he got that lead into first place, he has been keeping it pretty consistently. Of course, Acid Fly here to try to keep Tech behind.
They might not be able to catch him. He's starting to pull away. Tech's going to have to make something happen because behind him is Not Hero and Seas.
Oh, 1-2-4 position right now for Planet, looking really good. Going into that last 300 meters into the finish line. Minsick versus Tech is what's happening. Tech looking so close.
Oh, photo finish, and Tech is barely able able to eke it out. The veteran here, just by a fraction of a second, able to pass Minsik. I was certain that Minsik was going to walk away with a win on that one, but Tech, by some miracle, a photo finish, is able to get the dub for Team Aura. And man, you got to be feeling good about that one as an Aura fan.
Tech, the item specialist, pulling through so clutch for his team.
Look
at
at
the
this.
difference.
My goodness, we'll have it on screen in just a second, but
yeah,
a fraction of a second, man. That's just, oh, phenomenal.
Exactly a fraction, 0.025 down to the T. Crazy.
Oh,
well,
what a finish.
That's a great way to open our first item mode match between the two teams.
I don't think that can be topped. That's my highlight of the day so far.
For
is
sure.
Take just coming out of nowhere to barely secure that win.
As we see some of the
boy.
replays, you know, that led to this crazy moment. You know, 300 meters left, and we saw Minsik leading so far ahead. Tech, you know, we saw him coming in, trying his best, but oh my god.
Just took the tightest possible line, you know, and just had barely enough speed to, by the fraction of a second, by a hair, walk away with a win there. But, you know, all that matters is that you're the first one across. It doesn't matter by how much, and Aura's going to be taking that win all the way to the bank as we're getting ready for track number 2, Cogwheel Crush.
We are getting into the second round of the item mode. I am super excited to see how Planet will turn this around, because we must say, although Aura did take that match number 1, Planet was looking really good. They had so many players in the front, so we can see that Planet is definitely a team that likes to play around these item modes and has a really good understanding of them.
Yeah, Planet seemed like they were in a quite commanding position heading into the final moments there, but we've said it time and time again, it's really just that absolute final moment right before the finish line that matters most here in item mode. And I mean, Aura last map, they were able to pull the rabbit out of the hat, but we'll see if Planet's plans can come to fruition a little bit better here in track number 2.
For sure. I mean, Lens, he is the item ace for the team Planet, so Lens definitely trying his best to lead his team to victory and making sure that the team, they are synchronized in the idea of what kind of itemization they want to go for. And we're seeing a lot of Angels across the board, more so than Nitrous.
Yeah, and Planet once again having a lot of players closer to the front of the pack than Team Aura, and this was my concern last track, where Aura had a lot of players really close to the bottom of the standings, and you had to think that, okay, well, things have to go perfectly if you're going to be able to win from that position, and they did. But Planet, it seems like they're comfortable rolling with most of their guys close to the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, this is the final lap now, so this is definitely do or die. Lens and Acid Fly trying to secure that lead, continuing on for Planet.
Yep, Rocket coming in, taking one player out, as it's going to be C's in the lead right now for Team Aura. Lens right behind him here for Planet, as it's still a tight race here at the front.
It's very close. Hero is, he's got to be the hero for Team Aura, basically, because he is their only hope going into the last 400 meters.
And he gets a shield as well off the Nitrous, but
oh
no,
my
the Magnet
God.
coming in, but no, with another Magnet! It's Magnets all the way down! And Team Aura once again with another thrilling finish! Nock is gonna cross the finish line, and Aura's gonna go up 2-0 in item mode, and my goodness, these guys are putting on a show.
Yeah,
wow.
Planet. They were so close behind. They had 2 players finishing 2 and 3, but always one player manages to clutch it for Aura. I'm sure that these players must be feeling at the top of the world right now.
Once again, a fraction of a second, as, I mean, you saw that first Magnet pop there for Team Planet, and you're like, okay, this is how they're going to ride it to a win. And then the second Magnet comes in from Team Aura, and that propels them to the victory. And I mean, words can't describe how exciting these last 2 track finishes had been. You know, I said that, you know, track number 1 was the highlight of the day. I don't think that can be surpassed, but we almost surpassed that in
For
the
sure.
following track.
I mean, we're getting so much exciting hype matches back to back. And, you know, it keeps you at the edge of your seat, excited. What more can we see between the teams, Aura and Planet? You know, we emphasize a lot of the happy things happening for Aura here, but as we take a look at the replay, you know, Planet, you look at Lens, Minsec, Acidfly, they were looking so good.
Yeah, and look at this, the double, oh, maybe even a triple magnet. There's so many magnets there. As Aura is able to ride that to a victory. Just some fantastic item utilization in the last moments of 2 maps back-to-back, and sequentially fantastic play coming out of Team Aura. They are looking so solid.
Right, and we have a fan here saying, we are going to rip apart the Kart Rider Drift League for Aura, and definitely that's what Aura is doing right now.
Yeah, they're definitely turning me into a believer as we're gonna go to the next map, Pharaoh's Pass. Will Aura be able to finish the win? Right, racers are off once again, and man, I am still reeling from those final moments in those first 2 tracks.
For sure, I mean, who wouldn't be, right? No one can blame you, but this map is going to be a bit different because we're going to have a 3-lap one, so it's going to be long drawn out, players having a bit more time to selectively decide what items they're going to have, which I believe it has been one of the key factors for Aura. You know, when the race is so close, you don't have too much time to think exactly of the what item combos that you want to use, but for some reason Aura seems to perform really well under pressure.
Yeah, it seems like they're content, generally speaking, at least in track 1 and track 2, to kind of play a little bit slower in the mid game, you know, kind of bide their time, and then once they have their kits in terms of the items that they have situated on each character, they seems like they almost make a decision. It's like, okay, we're going to send these 2 players out. This guy's got both a nitrous and a shield. We'll have him go through. We also have a player with a magnet. And it worked in track number 1, it worked in track number 2. Those were photo finishes though, not comfortable wins by any means, as we see Team Planet trying to make something happen here. They want to avoid the sweep here in the item round. Will it work?
I mean, if it's a sweep, that would be such a crazy reputation that would follow Aura. So Planet for sure doesn't want to give that to their opponent. They want to put up a good fight because now we are moving into that final lap. Scarlet leading the pack for Planet, but Aura looking really good with that 1-3-4 position.
Yeah, Scarlet with double nitrous as well. We'll be able to pull away from the pack before the next items a little bit. See what items they pick up next, as the field is still quite close here heading into the final lap.
Really, really close. I mean, Aura right now, they are trying to support Tech, who is having a good lead over Acidfly, but Planet, you know, they are coming in hot. You know, can go either way.
Yeah, just watching the items right now. Tech picks up a couple
400
aggressive
meters
items.
left.
Yeah, 400 meters left. Knock both with a nitrous and
Let's
with a magnet and sees! What? Aura with all these come-behind victories, man. And it's waiting till the right moment to utilize those items, and every single time they get it, that time not just C's crossing in first place, but also Knock right there in second in a convincing sweep of the opposing team.
We may have just found ourselves the king, the most hyped team for the item mode. Aura showing such a good performance here today, as you know, we can see the players on the Aura side definitely looking content with their place.
Yeah, by far their most comfortable win here in item mode, and you know, it goes to show how skilled Aura is in this mode and the value that their veteran Take brings to this roster, because you know, item mode, there's so much chaos, and you know, it's absolutely skill-based, but sometimes it does feel like fate decides. But Aura does not let fate decide. Aura comes through in the clutch moments time and time again. 3-0 sweep. And I think we have, at least in my opinion, our item mode kings right now. Is you described that perfectly. They look convincing in speed mode. They look even more convincing here in item mode, as usually sees just blazing past that finish line.
Lens almost looked like he had it, but he didn't have enough to set Planet through the victory. So we see Aura today coming in that speed mode, 3-1, and then for set 2, 3-0.
What a thrilling match from start to finish. I mean, Aura's play was just absolutely top-notch, and not to take anything away from Planet, but Aura just, it felt like they were on another level.
For sure, Aura, this is a team that's definitely going to pick up a lot of new fans here today. Me being one of them, for instance. I am so excited to see where the future takes them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these guys are showing so much potential here, and if they can play at this level consistently throughout the KDL, I would not be surprised to see them in the playoffs.
Right, and we see the team standings so far. Liv Sandbox at that first place with the 1 win, and Aura following behind them at the first place as well.
Yep, Liv Sandbox, Aura, the Freaks, and Reboot, all with 1 set win. Rock Spinelli, Esports Sensation, and Planet all with set losses. But you look at the round wins right now, and Liv Sandbox and Aura are sitting pretty right there on top in first place.
Just completely even with each other right now. You know, these round wins can definitely make the difference in the standings. But so far, even KWANGDONGFREECS and Reboot, they are standing at the equal amount of set wins and round wins.
And Team Aura, man, they're... You know, we talked a lot about Liv Sandbox on day 1 and the KWANGDONGFREECS on day 2, and for good reason, you know? Both the global community and the Korean kart rider community talked a lot about these teams as arguably the top 2 teams in the league. You know, the favorites to run away with this one and secure a victory in the postseason. But Aura just playing out of their minds today in some convincing fashions. I don't think we have seen any series quite as one-sided as that was.
Yeah, I mean, definitely what we mentioned earlier about how Aura was able to recruit pretty much the best-known amateur player in Navi. That was definitely a huge moment for them. And also, Tech, who is their item mode specialist, definitely a player that has just provided so much for the team. I'm sure they are really happy with their decisions.
Yeah, and Tech showing some great performance too. I was very excited about that as well. You know, being a 30-something myself, to see a 30-something competing in kart rider, which is a young man's game, and coming through in the clutch right there. Just some fantastic play calling there by Tech, their item specialist, as you said, and just top to bottom, an all-around solid team. You know, their runners, they pulled away from the pack when they needed to, and everybody played great defense in speed mode. You go into item mode, and it felt like every single map, they set themselves up in position to win a photo finish in phenomenal fashion.
For sure. I mean, just so many good things have been said about Aura today and definitely deserve them all. And now, going back into Planet, you know, they definitely did have a bit of a one-sided loss in terms of results, maybe not in the terms of what actually happened because they were all so close. But Planet definitely is a team that we still got to watch out for. You know, the next time they have a showing, I'm sure that they're going to show us a lot of improved gameplay because, you know, the team Mystic, we keep talking about it because in 2020, they were able to make such a good impression, and so many players from the team Mystic have now moved over to Planet, showing a really strong roster.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a bit of a shakeup in terms of power rankings of these teams as these leagues move on because, you know, we're only here in the preseason. It's a new game, Kart Rider Drift. It's based on an old one with an almost 2-decade esports history, but it still is something new, and there's going to be an adjusting period. There's veterans that are coming back to the game. There's new players that are only just now getting started. So, yeah, definitely look for them to make some improvements, make some adjustments, and try to come up even stronger next week.
Yeah, I mean, the item ace lens, we were talking earlier about his story about how, you know, his lens, it ended up falling out during a game. And before that lens fell out, you know, they were losing the game. And then after, you know, they won. This is a player that definitely has a lot of attention on him as the item ace. So for sure, we're expecting great things to come out of Planet.
Yeah, and we're not done yet today either. You know, after another short break, which we'll be going to in a moment, we have the solo speed section of today, which I'm especially looking forward to because we have our global player. NEAL is going to be competing in it, Hojin as well. It should be a star-studded roster for, you know, arguably another group of death. We were talking about how strong Group A was, but Group B also is definitely going to have some highlight moments, I think.
For sure. I mean, highlights, you can say that again. Hojin, we've emphasized him as the emperor of Kart Rider over and over again. And now the question is, coming into Kart Rider Drift, will he be able to continue that spectacular history and become the emperor of even Kart Rider Drift? You know, there's a lot of fierce opponents, especially in NEAL, that he's going to be facing off today. NEAL also a player wanting to become the potential emperor of Kart Rider Drift.
Yeah, I bet you a lot of these new players are going to want to make that legend for themselves. And guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with the solo speed section of this game.